Have you ever noticed that the loudest voice in your life is not coming from the outside, but from within? That constant stream of thoughts, the inner dialogue you carry everywhere, shaping how you see yourself and the world. Some days it builds you up, other days it tears you down. And if you have ever wondered why it feels so powerful, it is because your inner voice is one of the most influential forces in your life. This voice was never meant to be your enemy. It is part of what makes you human. For thousands of years, it has helped us survive. It reminds us of dangers, helps us remember lessons, plan ahead, and give meaning to our experiences. Without that voice, you would not be able to replay a conversation in your mind, prepare for a challenge, or motivate yourself when no one else is watching. It is not a flaw, it is a gift. But like any gift, how you use it determines whether it becomes your strength or your downfall. The problem is not that you hear the voice. The problem is how you respond to it. When that voice encourages you, you feel unstoppable. But when it spirals into endless worry, self-criticism, or regret, it becomes chatter. And chatter does not just drain your energy, it can distort your perspective, making small problems feel massive and convincing you that you are weaker than you really are. Many people give up at this point. They assume that this is just who they are, that their mind will always be negative. But hear this, you are not the voice in your head. You are the one who decides whether to believe it. That voice can be loud, but it cannot define you without your permission. Imagine for a moment that inner voice as a tool. A hammer can build a house or break a window. The hammer itself is not good or bad. It is how you use it that matters. Your inner voice works the same way. When guided, it helps you grow, create, and find meaning. When left unchecked, it keeps you stuck in cycles of fear and doubt. So, the real question is not, how do I get rid of this voice? The real question is, how do I learn to guide it? Because the truth is, it will never disappear, and that is a good thing. What you need is not silence, but mastery. The ability to redirect it from tearing you down to building you up. This is where your journey begins. Not by silencing your thoughts, but by understanding them. Not by fighting the voice, but by taking the driver's seat and showing it where to go. Because when you recognize that your inner voice is part of you but not all of you, you discover a power most people never unlock. So let me ask you, what if the very voice you thought was holding you back was the same voice that could lead you forward? If your inner voice is a tool, chatter is what happens when that tool slips from your control. It is like holding a microphone too close to the speaker. Instead of clarity, you get endless feedback that drowns out everything else. The danger of chatter is not only that it is loud, but that it convinces you it is the only truth. Think about the last time you replayed a conversation in your head over and over again. You remembered every word, every pause, every look. You wondered what you should have said, what they really meant, how it might affect your future. That loop, that endless cycle of mental replays, is chatter. Chatter usually shows up in three forms. The first is rumination. This is when you get stuck on the past, replaying mistakes or regrets as if somehow rehearsing them will change what already happened. Yet the more you replay, the heavier it becomes. Instead of finding clarity, you carry the weight of yesterday into today. The second form is worry. Worry drags you into the future and convinces you to live there. It is the cycle of what if. What if I fail? What if they leave? What if I am not good enough? Worry steals your peace before anything even happens. It traps you in a world of imagined pain, where fear of the unknown overshadows the reality of the present. The third form is self-beratement. This is chatter at its cruelest. It does not just question your choices, it questions your worth. It whispers that you are not capable, that you always mess things up, that you do not deserve better. And when you hear it often enough, you begin to mistake it for your identity. When chatter takes over, it does not stay in your head. It leaks into your relationships, your performance, even your health. You may find yourself distracted at work, distant with loved ones, restless at night. Studies show that chatter can raise stress hormones, weaken the immune system, and shorten your attention span. It is not just mental noise. It becomes physical wear and tear. But I want you to see something important. Chatter is not proof that you are broken. It is proof that your mind is trying to protect you, but it is using the wrong strategy. Rumination is your brain's attempt to learn from the past. Worry is its way of preparing for the future. Self-beratement is a twisted form of self-improvement. The motives are survival, but the method is sabotage. So instead of asking, why am I like this? A better question is, what is my mind trying to do for me, and how can I redirect it? When you reframe chatter this way, you stop seeing it as a curse and start seeing it as a signal. It is your inner alarm system, letting you know it is time to intervene. If a smoke alarm goes off in your house, you do not destroy the alarm. You check for the fire. If there is no fire, you silence the alarm. Chatter is the alarm, not the fire. It tells you something feels unsafe, even if the danger is imagined. Your job is not to panic, but to pause, to check, and then to reset. Here is the empowering truth. You are not powerless against chatter. You have the ability to step back, to create distance, and to guide that inner voice. The fact that you notice the noise means you are already separate from it. You are not the voice. You are the listener. That realization alone begins to weaken chatter's grip. Do not expect chatter to vanish overnight. It is persistent because it is tied to your deepest fears and hopes. That is why you need strategies, not wishes. You need a toolbox, not a miracle. Because when chatter shows up, and it will, you will know exactly how to respond. So ask yourself this: what if chatter is not proof of weakness, but an invitation to build strength? What if every loop, every what if, every harsh whisper is a signal that it is time to grow, to rise, and to take back the driver's seat of your own mind? Because here is the promise. You do not have to live at the mercy of chatter. You can break the cycle. And in the next part, you will see why there is not a single solution, but a set of tools you can carry with you for life. Many people keep waiting for a miracle solution. One phrase, one habit, or one book that will silence chatter forever. That is why so many run after self-help trends or viral hacks. But the truth is, if a single method really worked, you would not still be searching for answers. And I would not need to speak about this. There is no magic wand. This may sound disappointing at first, but in reality it is a reason for hope. Because what truly works is not a fragile secret, but a toolbox filled with strategies you can choose from depending on the challenge you face. Think about physical training. No one becomes strong and balanced with only one exercise. You cannot just do push-ups and expect your whole body to be fit. Instead, you create a program with many exercises. You combine strength, endurance, flexibility, and recovery. Each exercise builds a different part of your body, and together they make you resilient. Managing chatter works in the same way. You do not need one single tool. You need a toolbox. And when you use those tools together, you become mentally strong, focused, and steady. This matters because chatter never shows up in only one form. Sometimes it is a spiral of regret about the past. Sometimes it is a storm of what-ifs about the future. Sometimes it is a sharp voice telling you that you are not enough. You cannot fight all of these with a single weapon. You need variety, and you need to know when to use each tool. That is why I call it a toolbox. During the global pandemic, researchers studied how people handled chatter. They found that those who relied on only one technique rarely kept their calm for long. But those who built a combination of practices, like journaling, reaching out to trusted friends, creating daily rituals, or spending time in nature, not only reduced chatter, but also became more resilient. The key was not perfection in one tool. The key was variety and consistency. So, if there is no magic wand, what do? We build our own toolbox. The first step is to change how we see the battle. Many believe that the presence of chatter means failure, but chatter is not failure. Chatter is a signal. It is a reminder that it is time to take a tool out of the box. Listen carefully, because this is where the turning point happens. If you are waiting for the voice in your head to give you permission to move forward, it never will. That is why you cannot wait for silence before you start living. You must learn to grow strong even in the middle of the noise. You do not wait for the gym to feel easy before lifting weights. You walk in, even when it feels heavy. And every time you reach for a tool, you declare that chatter does not have the final word. You do. In practice, your toolbox may look simple. A journal to pour out racing thoughts at night so your mind can rest. A morning walk not only for exercise but to let nature calm your spirit. A list of people you trust. Your chatter advisors, so you know where to turn when you feel overwhelmed. Small rituals, like lighting a candle before work or cleaning your desk at the end of the week, to remind yourself that you are in control of your space. What matters most is your why. You do not write in a journal just to fill pages. You write to bring clarity to your mind. You do not walk outside only to pass the time. You walk to reconnect with a world bigger than your own struggles. When the reason is clear, your tools become more than habits. They become anchors. Building a toolbox requires humility. You must accept that one method will not solve everything. You must be willing to try, to fail, to adjust, and to persist. That takes courage. But think about this. What is more courageous? Pretending you are fine while chatter eats away at you, or admitting you need tools and choosing to use them to regain your peace? So let me ask you, if you had a toolbox that could calm your mind, restore your focus, and bring you peace, would you use it every day? Why wait until the storm is raging? Why not prepare now, so that when chatter appears, you already hold everything you need? That is the hope. You do not have to depend only on willpower. You do not have to wait for the noise to stop. You can act. You can begin today. And the more you use your tools, the more automatic it becomes. Over time, chatter loses its grip and your confidence grows. Remember this. No magic wand will appear, but you do not need one. You already have the ability to build your toolbox. And when you do, you will discover that chatter is not your master. It is your signal. Not the end of peace, but the beginning of wisdom. Now that you understand chatter and why a single solution will never be enough, let us begin filling your toolbox. These are not abstract theories. They are practical tools proven to calm the noise in your mind and help you regain clarity. You may not use all of them every day, but knowing they are available gives you strength. And as you practice, you will learn which tool fits each situation. The first tool is distance self-talk. Most of us speak to ourselves in the heat of stress using the word I. I am a failure. I cannot handle this. I will never get through it. The problem is that it keeps you too close to the storm. But when you shift to calling yourself by name or using you create distance. Suddenly the voice becomes more like a coach than a critic. Imagine saying, "You can handle this. You have done harder things before." It may feel strange at first, but research shows that even this small shift reduces emotional intensity and clears the fog of chatter. You remind yourself that you are more than the moment you are in. The second tool is ritual. Human beings thrive on structure. Rituals do more than fill time. They send a signal to your brain that you are in control. A ritual can be as simple as making your bed every morning, writing a line in a gratitude journal, or taking 3 deep breaths before a meeting. These small actions might look ordinary, but their power lies in consistency. They ground you in the present and give you a sense of stability when chatter tries to drag you into chaos. The third tool is mental time travel. Chatter makes today feel eternal. It convinces you that what you are experiencing now will never end. But when you step outside the present and remember a time when you overcame hardship, or picture yourself 6 months from now having moved past this moment, you break the illusion. You tell your mind that this is temporary, and you remind yourself of your own resilience. The past teaches you that you survived before. The future shows you that you will not be stuck here forever. Together they weaken the grip of chatter. The fourth tool is creating order in your environment. The state of your surroundings often mirrors the state of your mind. A cluttered desk fuels a cluttered mind. Taking time to clean, organize, or arrange your space is not about appearance. It is about regaining control. When your physical world feels in order, your inner world often follows. Something as simple as tidying a corner of your room or clearing your inbox can restore a sense of peace and momentum. The fifth tool is engaging your senses. Music, scent, and touch can shift your state faster than logic. Chatter is fueled by abstract thought, so using your senses anchors you back to the present. Play a song that inspires you. Light a candle with a scent that calms you. Step outside and feel the sun on your face. These are not distractions. They are grounding practices. They remind you that you live in the present moment, not only in the thoughts inside your head. The sixth tool is awe. Few things silence chatter like encountering something greater than yourself. A breathtaking sunset, a mountain peak, the sound of the ocean, or even a piece of art that moves you. Awe lifts your perspective beyond your immediate worries. It reminds you that you are part of something larger, that your struggles are real but not infinite. Seeking moments of awe can reset your mental state faster than hours of overthinking. The seventh tool is connection with the right people. Not everyone is the right person to share your chatter with. Some people amplify the noise by offering shallow advice or echoing your fears. But the right advisors listen with empathy and guide with wisdom. Choose carefully who you let into your circle when chatter grows loud. And remember, not all support must be visible. Invisible support is when someone helps you in quiet ways without drawing attention, like a friend checking in with a kind message or a partner taking care of a task so you can rest. Such support strengthens you without making you feel weak. What matters most about these tools is not perfection but practice. You do not wait for the storm to test them. You build them into your life so that when the storm comes, you are ready. And the more you practice, the more automatic they become. You will notice that chatter may still knock on the door, but it no longer has the power to break in. Here is the truth that both Simon Sinek and Steven Furtick would tell you. You do not win the battle with chatter by eliminating the voice. You win by guiding it. You win by choosing the right tool at the right time. You win by reminding yourself that you are not the noise. You are the one who decides what to do with it. So begin small. Pick one or two tools and use them today. Write a note to yourself in the third person. Clean your desk. Step outside and watch the sky for a moment. Then add more as you go. Over time, you will build a toolbox so strong that chatter will no longer control you. Because at the end of the day, the question is not whether chatter will come. It will. The real question is whether you will be ready. And with these tools, you will not only be ready, you will be stronger, calmer, and more focused than you ever imagined. No matter how strong you are, no matter how disciplined your mind becomes, you were never meant to fight chatter alone. Human beings are wired for connection, and our surroundings shape the quality of our inner lives more than we often admit. The truth is, your environment and the people around you can either feed the noise in your head or help quiet it. That is why choosing where you place yourself and who you let into your life is as important as any internal tool you use. Let us start with nature. Few things calm the storm of chatter like stepping outside and letting the natural world remind you of its rhythm. The sound of the wind, the sight of trees moving gently, the flow of water. These are not luxuries. They are medicine for a restless mind. Studies show that even short walks in a park reduce stress and restore focus. Nature creates space between you and your thoughts. It reminds you that life is larger than the problem echoing in your head. And when you realize that you are part of a much greater whole, chatter loses its power to dominate you. Another powerful influence is music. Sound has a way of reaching the places logic cannot touch. A song can lift your mood in seconds, calm your heart, or ignite courage. When chatter fills your mind, music can reset the emotional atmosphere. Choose songs that inspire, comfort, or energize you, depending on what you need. This is not about distraction. It is about shifting the emotional frequency of your mind so that chatter no longer controls the stage. Then there is the experience of awe. Awe silences chatter because it expands your perspective beyond yourself. Standing before a mountain, gazing at the stars, or listening to a piece of music that feels otherworldly, you are reminded that your problems, while real, are not infinite. Awe humbles you in the best way. It lifts your eyes from the endless loop of self-talk and reconnects you to the beauty and mystery of life itself. Seek moments of awe regularly, not only in grand experiences but also in small wonders, like a child's laughter or the colors of a sunset. Just as powerful as your environment are the people you choose to share it with. Not everyone is the right person to hear your chatter. Some will unintentionally make it louder with shallow advice or anxious responses. That is why you need what I call chatter advisors. These are the trusted few who listen with empathy, who give perspective without judgment, who remind you of your strength when you forget it. The wrong voices can chain you deeper to your fears, but the right voices can help set you free. Choose wisely who you invite into your circle when your mind is at war. Beyond direct advice, there is also the gift of invisible support. This is when someone helps you without drawing attention to your need. A friend sending a kind message just when you felt unseen. A partner quietly taking care of a task so you can rest. A colleague covering for you without making it a point of pride. Invisible support restores your sense of dignity while still offering real help. It tells you that you are not a burden, that you are loved in ways both seen and unseen. Simon Sinek would remind you here that connection is not optional for healing, it is essential. You cannot fully quiet chatter by staying in isolation. Healing comes when you allow the right environments and the right people to shape you. Steven Furtick would add this with passion. You are not meant to fight this battle alone. Place yourself in the right environment. Let your community lift you when you are weak. Think about it this way. A single candle can brighten a dark room, but when you surround yourself with others carrying light, the darkness retreats far faster. Your inner world works the same way. The more you allow positive environments and supportive people into your life, the less space chatter has to take over. But this requires courage too. Sometimes pride tells us we do not need anyone. Sometimes fear tells us we will be judged if we admit our struggle. Yet the truth is that strength is not proven in isolation. Strength is proven in vulnerability, in the willingness to step into the right spaces and let others walk with you. So ask yourself, what is the environment you are choosing today? Who are the voices you are allowing closest to you? Are they helping you quiet the noise, or are they feeding it? You always have a choice, and that choice can change the entire atmosphere of your mind. Remember, chatter thrives in loneliness, in clutter, in chaos, but it weakens in the presence of awe, in the calm of nature, in the beauty of music, and in the arms of a trusted community. You do not have to carry the weight alone. Surround yourself with what heals you, and you will find that the voice of chatter becomes smaller while your peace becomes stronger. Because in the end, victory over chatter is not only about what you do within yourself, it is also about where you stand and who stands with you. By now you know that chatter will never disappear completely. It is part of being human. That voice in your head will always be there, sometimes whispering, sometimes shouting. The goal is not to silence it forever, but to manage it with wisdom and strength. The question is not how to make it vanish, but how to guide it so that it serves you instead of sabotaging you. The truth is, you will not find a perfect formula that works for everyone. What calms one person may not work for another. That is why you must experiment, test, and build your own toolbox. Some days writing in a journal may be enough. Other days you will need the support of a trusted friend, a walk in nature, or a simple ritual to ground you. What matters is not perfection, but practice. The more you practice, the more skilled you become at managing chatter when it rises. Simon Sinek would remind you that you got this. Your mind is not your enemy. It is your ally when you learn to guide it. That inner voice that once seemed like a curse can become a compass, helping you reflect, prepare, and grow. Steven Furtick would tell you with fire that even when the voice in your head says you cannot, you must rise anyway. You were created to win this battle. Think about the truth behind that. Every time chatter shows up, it is not the end of your peace. It is an invitation to practice strength. Every time you notice the noise, you are proving that you are separate from it, that you are the listener, not the voice. That awareness is already a victory. But awareness alone is not enough. You must act. Action is what builds resilience. Action is what proves to your own mind that you are not a prisoner of chatter. You cannot think your way into peace. You must practice your way into peace. Use your tools. Choose your environment. Connect with the right people. Seek awe. Engage your senses. Build rituals. Each small choice is a step toward freedom. And when you stumble, when chatter feels louder than your strength, remember this. Falling does not mean failure. It means you are human. Pick up the tools again. Take the next step again. Progress is not measured by never hearing chatter, but by how quickly you return to peace after it appears. So here is the call I want to leave with you. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Do not wait for the noise to disappear on its own. Start today. Choose one tool and use it. Write down a thought that has been looping in your mind and release it. Step outside and let nature remind you of its calm. Call a friend who lifts you up instead of weighing you down. Light a candle and breathe deeply before you start your work. One action may feel small, but small actions build powerful momentum. The journey ahead is not about eliminating chatter. It is about mastering it. And you are ready. You already have what it takes. You are not weak because you hear the noise. You are strong because you are learning to guide it. So the next time chatter rises, do not shrink back. Stand firm. Remind yourself that you have a toolbox and that you know how to use it. And when you do, you will find a peace that does not depend on silence, but on strength. You got this. Your mind is not your enemy. It is your ally when you choose to lead it. Rise, even when the voice says you cannot. You were created to win this battle. Now it is your turn. Take what you have learned. Pick up your first tool and begin today.